So I think the most important thing as somebody that doesn't have a consistent income is to multiply your sources of income. Like for me, I was a DJ. I'm a DJ, and I was like, okay, what else can I do? I love doing jewelry, so let me make something out of House of Nalo, something that can bring in extra money.
99 FM, your inspiration station. It's time for another edition of Wealth Talks, brought to you by Allan Gray. And after all these episodes of the Allan Gray Wealth Talks, it's now clear that the sooner you start investing, the more you'll cash out in the long run. But how does one navigate investments as an entrepreneur with no consistent flow of income to put towards investments? Today, we are talking to DJ Alba, a passionate young entrepreneur who's not just a talented DJ, but also runs a successful jewelry business, and she's also an influencer of a note. She has, of course, been here before, but today we're talking about something completely different. Hey, Alba, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing absolutely amazing. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's great to see you. I've just been seeing you, spinning the decks on social media, doing your thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's great to have you in studio. Can we start off with you telling us about your money story, the lessons you learned about money as a child that shape how you look at money today?
Okay, as a child, I don't think I've thought of money in that way. Like, really, I didn't put too much effort in thinking about money as a kid. I come from humble beginnings. I don't come from a rich family. My mom is unemployed. My dad, yes, he was a police officer, but we struggled here and there, but I understood. I kind of didn't push my parents to do anything.
To buy things.
Yeah,
that
to
you
buy
didn't need,
things, like cry tantrums.
Bills
and I'm like, okay,
and things, yeah.
So I understood, but then over the years, I kind of actually understood how money works. We had this saying that says, money is the root to all evils. I don't know, it kind of sets a negative connotation to money. So when you look at money, it's like, oh, it's evil, it's evil, but it's not. It just depends on the mindset, on your mindset, and how you kind of look at money. Because if you are thinking people who are rich are evil, it's money is gonna run away from you. I don't know. It's gonna sound a bit esoteric as well if I say when you say money is evil and you are saying you're always broke and whatnot, it's like the universe kind of keeps money away from you. Yeah, but the moment you're like, okay, I'm not going to think about money. If it comes, it comes.
If it goes, it goes.
If it goes, it goes. Yes, because I recently realized that I have a different mindset when it comes to money. So when I spend a certain amount of money, it literally comes back. Like this whole week, I'm like, I'm going to spend this. I'm going to buy something that I need. 2 days later,
the money comes back.
It's back, tripled or doubled or whatever, or the same amount. So it's,
okay,
it's weird.
All
it's
right.
Really weird.
Okay, cool. That's your money story.
Yeah.
What are some of the financial implications of investing and saving as an entrepreneur with no consistent income?
Yeah. So I think the most important thing as somebody that doesn't have a consistent income is to multiply your sources of income. Like for me, I was a DJ. I'm a DJ, and I was like, okay, what else can I do? I love doing jewelry, so let me make something out of House of Nalo, something that can bring in extra money. And also I'm lucky enough to get influencer and content creation gigs on the side because I'm a DJ. So the more you multiply your sources of income, I think the better.
The better for you, yeah.
You really cannot rely on one thing because you never know what's going to happen in the future. We're in a pandemic, and a lot of people lost their jobs because, and imagine they all depended on one source of income. And I am so lucky that I had a House of Nalo. When the DJing was on a standstill, I had a House of Nalo that kept me afloat. Literally for the past 1.5 years that we've been in a pandemic, and I was lucky enough that I got influencer gigs. I mean, I got the chance to work with brands like Simba Chips. I'm currently an influencer for them for the next three months. I've worked with Horizon Beer. I've worked with Showmax.
Yeah.
And Yeah, man. Like,
so ultimately, just have more than one stream of income.
Definitely, I think that's the best. Yeah, honestly, that's the best. It's the way to go. Yeah.
Let's talk about House of Nalo. Amazing pieces that you make, by the way.
Thank you so much.
What are some of the mistakes? Or what are some of the financial mistakes that you have made on your entrepreneurial journey with House of Nalo?
I think at the beginning, it's me trying to mix my personal accounts with House of Nalo. I didn't have like a separate, okay, this is for House of Nalo, this is for Alba, me personally. And so for me, that is the number one mistake. So over the years, I kind of learned how to kind of separate the two and know exactly House of Nalo's money I don't use for personal stuff at all.
So you save that, you invest
I save it and I reinvest it in buying stock and buying packaging and whatever it is that I need to do with House of Nalo. And everything else that comes in extra from the influencing, from the content creation, from the DJing is what I use. I kind of take some to use for my pay rent, to pay expenses and whatnot. So.
And then finally, Alba, before we let you go, there must be some decisions, some financial decisions that you're proud of making, and especially with the disruption of the 2020 COVID-19 restrictions that impacted the entertainment sector. What are the financial decisions that you are proud of making right now?
I think I'm proud of having had a savings the whole entire time, because there was a point where nothing was coming in and I relied on my savings, and they kept me they kept me throughout. So savings and trying to I think savings definitely
is important.
There's a point where you have to save and kind of reinvest that money, but always have like a savings where you can go to. And then,
for rainy days.
And then in another separate account for savings where you reinvest that savings into something else that will kind of triple or double.
I think it all boils down to discipline as well, because you save the money, you invest the money comes back, and you're like, ooh, look at all this money, and now you want to go buy things and just blow the money and just live your best life, which is okay, because you are working for your money, and there's nothing wrong with spending money on yourself that you made working hard for yourself. But it's also important, like you mentioned, to have a savings account for those rainy days, because they are gonna come. They are gonna come, and they're gonna come very unexpectedly as well. Nalo, what's your next big thing? What's happening in terms of House of Nalo and just being an entrepreneur in this climate?
House of Nalo, I'm trying to expand it into, like, I'm trying to have a sister company that's birthed from House of Nalo. It's going to be something completely different. It's going to be interior design section or whatever. I don't know how to call it, but it's hopefully it's going to launch early next year, or if not end of this year, like December, then early next year.
But take your time.
January.
Take your time. There's no rush.
Yeah, I've been sitting on it. Yeah. So definitely, it's like ready. I just need to find the right date for it. So
to drop it.
Yeah.
All right. The DJ Alba in the building. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio and sharing with us your money story and just how you go about your business and being an entrepreneur in this climate, and how you go about managing your money as well. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. DJ Alba in the building. If you missed out on the interview, guess what? You can always go onto the app and have a listen again. That's our Wealth Talks for this afternoon.
Wealth Talks was proudly brought to you by Allan Gray. True rewards take time.